Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at, what is this? What is this? This is some weird contraption. What would you use this for? Actually, this is a Vello camera bracket. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot to say about it. But this can be a very powerful tool in your photography or videography, depending on what you do. I use a gimbal, but this can definitely work, depending on your workflow. So anyway, I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to talk about some pros and cons of this. And then I'm going to show you this with my camera setup, and you can kind of get a general idea how this thing works. So first of all, this is made of metal, so it's very sturdy. I mean, this thing it's strong. You don't have to worry about it dropping your camera. You'll see that later on when I bring my camera out and the way that I use it and the configuration, the gear that it holds. This thing is very strong. It's very sturdy. But it has some flaws, and we're definitely going to talk about the flaws. I don't understand. Maybe people just aren't thinking this through. I've seen a bunch of reviews. People say it's backwards, and let's jump into that. This is how it attaches to your camera. Camera's here, and the battery bracket is here. Vello's there. You attach your flash here, and you shoot. And you can flip your flash over there, and you can shoot. And everything is working perfectly fine until you go portrait mode. Oh no, my flash is at the bottom now. And a lot of people are saying, it's, you know, I don't know why they dropped the ball, but they didn't drop the ball. And I'll show you that in a little bit later when I bring up my camera. But to say about this is, as I said earlier, it's very sturdy. What's going on with it, it's got a cushion here, and you can adjust. You can take this out, and you can put it over any of these holes. Now this, we'll talk about later also. But as of right now, you can adjust this anywhere you want it along in here. You can see the screws there. You can adjust this all the way up. You'll notice I do have it all the way up to get it as far up off the camera as possible. There's a reason for that also. And you'll notice that this, the bracket itself, the flash bracket, it comes on and off. So you can only spin it around. I don't understand why you can even take it off, because you can spin it around. You can't, you know, there's no place to put it other than here, but I don't know, maybe their thinking was far beyond that of mine. But anyway, this is basically the bracket. So anyway, without a camera, we're going to talk about the cons of this thing, and I'm going to talk about those a little bit later too. First of all, this screwing in and out. I used this for the first time in a wedding, and this screwing in and out is great, but it kept getting loose, and my flash was wobbling, and had I not caught it, my flash would have fallen off. So that is a definitely downer. Second thing is this grip. It's nice. I want to say that first of all, it feels good in the hand. When you're holding this for hours at a time, and I mean literally hours, this comes in handy. But it does get loose. So be ready for that to happen. It's inevitable. And last but definitely not least, I kept noticing the bracket spinning on my camera, and I kept tightening this up, but it was tight. So I really couldn't figure out what was going on. This pad will come loose. The glue is garbage. It's absolutely garbage. So be ready. When mine came loose, we'll talk about that later. And this does not come with the bracket. There is a quarter 20 hole in the bottom of this knob, which is beautiful. It allows me to put this little, my little strap loop in, and I use it as a cheater because this thing gets so heavy that I can dangle it to the side just for a second while I'm resting, while I'm talking to somebody, while I'm helping somebody move something. All of this, you have to kind of, you know, be aware this stuff is going to happen. So that's basically the bracket. That's it. I mean, there's not much to it. We'll see how functional it is, and just a little bit. Let me get my camera. And And I got a little more than the battery grip. That might just the camera, but this is everything that I use whenever I'm using this bracket. So I'm going to show you how this all comes together. Kind of a long video, I apologize, but somebody needs to know this. The bracket is not going to hang off to the left of the camera like most people say it should. I use it off to the right of the camera, where it rightfully belongs. Now what I'm going to explain to you is that I've moved this knob down to not the very last hole, but the second to last hole, to give me some room in here to hold my camera. Where it's dangling on my side, I can just grab it and I can still use it. So the functionality is still there. What else do I use? X1 trigger. I'm going to pop that on there. I'm going to bring the bracket down and it works. It's not interfering with my X1 trigger yet, but it will eventually, but it's not a big deal. We'll get to that. Next we have an L.e.d. here. I have the Peak Design clip. I usually clip this. How does it work? This way. Yeah. So that the display is up on my hip and I can make any needed adjustments. I'm going to attach that to... Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Why would it work on video? Oh. Because you're not putting it together right. Got to clip on your extension head. And for this configuration, for this softbox, I use a Fresnel head. Now, you can also use a bare bulb, but with the bare bulb, you cannot use the double diffusion that's in this softbox. And we'll talk about that later. There are 2 layers of diffusion in this, and if you want to use those, you're going to have to use a Fresnel head. And there's your flash, and now you'll see what I mean when I said yet. This does kind of do that to your trigger, but the solution to that is I'll zip tie. I zip tie here, directly to the flash, and here, right above the handle, and I'll zip tie it like this, and that takes care of a majority of the interference because I just don't put it down all the way, and that solves that problem. So you've got your flash, you've got your extension head on your hip, and you have your softbox. As I said, this has 2 layers of diffusion. We're not going to talk about the softbox too much. We're just going to slide it on here. You hear something yelling, that's my dog. You want some attention? I got to go out and give him a little loving. I am late. And there you go. There is my configuration. Now, the way this works is, without it being off to the left, like most people say it has to go, you do have room to grab your camera, you can hold your rig, and walk around with it. And if you want to go portrait mode, the zip ties help a lot. You realize that whenever you don't have them on. But Bob's your uncle. There you go. Now, if you don't have a battery grip and you want to go portrait mode, it's going to be a lot more difficult. I really don't want to tell you if you don't have a battery grip. All my cameras have battery grips. So for me, I'm here. Back button, back, what did I say? Anyway, it's back button focus. Focus, snap. Focus, snap. Not a big deal. This does not interfere. Snap, snap. And you're in business. You're in business. Your softbox is here. It'll stay in this position. You can shoot like this if you decide to. I've shot like this. You know, you get a little side shadow. But a majority of the time, I'm right here. So this Vello grip it's very good. But there's one more thing you really need to know. To stop this from loosening up, what I did, I put ever so slightly, I mean, do not put a lot, people, a very small amount of blue Loctite. Do not use the red. If you use the red, you're not going to get it off, all right? Just a little dab of blue Loctite here. And that solves that problem. And here, I put a little blue Loctite there because I don't want this to shift downwards when I'm at an event or just begin to slide. So there's a little blue Loctite to keep those really tight. And as far as the pad coming off, it's in the way. It's weird. As far as the pad coming off, I cleaned it. I sanded it down. And I took a screwdriver and I marred it really good to make sure there was some deep pits into it. And I put super glue and super glued it back down. And it's been working fine ever since. But if you're going to use a configuration like this, you're definitely going to want a cheater here. And let me do this on camera. Let me do this on camera. That cheater comes on when you're using a sling, and it's too heavy to carry. I mean, it's heavy. This is heavy. Look at what you're doing. You got an 8200 on your hip. You've got from in my case a D610 battery grip, 24 to 70. You've got the softbox hanging off the flash, and the bracket itself. It's weighty, including the trigger. It's a lot of stuff to be carrying, but you just hook that in there, and you can rest for a few minutes. Stand off to the side when nobody knows you and catch your breath, man, because this thing is, you know, it's a workhorse. You're working, so, but it works. This is very functional. We'll talk about this softbox at a later time. Maybe the next video will be about this softbox. I think it's really a good deal also. But for the Vello camera bracket, this really works, people. If you're looking for a solution to a problem about your photography, you know, you don't like the harsh flash, you want to make it a little bit softer, get you an extension head, an 82 for your 8200 and a Vello camera bracket, and just get your flash off your camera. And it gives you a little versatility, which is absolutely awesome. So anyway, that's the Vello camera grip, battery grip, battery bracket. That's what it is. It's a battery bracket. It's not a grip, it's a battery bracket. There's no solution for the loose handle. I haven't come up with anything for that yet. But thank you for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to come back with some more equipment, stuff, things for you to introduce into your workflow or not. Thanks for watching, people.